Yeah, I love mafia flicks. Like, mafia films, and James Bond. Those are my two favorite genres, if you can call them genres. Those are my joints. I don't know why I love organized crime so much. I always want, I always want the villain to win. I always want the villain to prosper in these movies and cartoons too. Everything. I never liked Hulk Hogan. I never liked He-Man. I hated 90% of the G.I. Joes. I was always the Cobra Commander, Megatron, Starscream, Skeletor, even Dr. Claw and Gargamel. I'll roll with Azrael before I roll with Duke and Flint. I don't know. It's been that way for as long as I can remember. That's right. Goodfellas. I remember seeing Scarface and going crazy. Like, this movie's incredible. The rise to power, the bad guy was winning, pun intended. And then they had to add their stupid fuckface movie magic though. The ending of Scarface just always pisses me off. I can't even finish the movie anymore. I've seen Scarface maybe like 100 times. I've seen the ending maybe 10 times. Maybe 5. It's just dumb. Casino, great movie. Long movie, but has memorable lines, classic scenes, classic quotes. De Niro and Pesci, they just said it all. Funny how, Spider getting shot. Just incredible. And, it gave us the Goodfellas on Animaniacs later. That was dope. Why else I love this genre though? The acting and the scripts. The scripts and the acting, they rarely get lazy with the two. The acting rocks. Now, of course, you'd say, well, usually they have either Pesci, De Niro, or Pacino, or all three. And I say, yeah, so. I mean, James Caan, the other Bobby D, Sean Penn, Johnny Depp, the actors in gangster mafia flicks on a whole is just better than any other genre, if you ask me. And you did. Anyway, Godfather. Wow, so Godfather, I don't know how old I was, but I remember thinking, wow, this is boring. And why are they talking so much? And who's this old guy singing in these foreign words? I don't like it. But, the older people that was watching it with me were so into it. I was like, well, maybe I should pay attention to see why they're so captivated. why they're clamoring for this movie. And I did. And wow. Wow. The layers, the story, the execution, how the story unfolds, the character arcs, just greatest movie ever, point blank, period. I watch The Godfather 1 and 2 multiple times, yearly, back to back. Just about every time I do, I see something new, little, shade of something that make me wonder what if in a scene or two. It's always something good. Comes from watching The Godfather. The Corleone family was incredible. It's like organized crime was so dope. Just crime was so dope and real. They didn't want to hurt anybody. Not necessarily. If everybody did what they were supposed to do, it was fine. I don't know. I liked it. I wish organized crime was, in the forefront now, like it was back in the days. That shit was on TV, like for real. Like John Gotti was for real. This stuff used to happen. Frank Sinatra, he was mobbed up. This is dope to me. I don't know. Anyway, Godfather had so many memorable scenes and quotes. The gun in the bathroom. That was the first time I heard, shoot and drop the gun and bounce. Like, every movie after that did that. So you would think, take the gun. But, you'd also have to remember that back then there was no internet or no super forensics either. So I guess it was okay. Stupid fuckface Captain McCluskey and Salasso. The mere fact that they could separate business and killing like that, though. I liked it. It was dope. Sonny getting shot up. Mo Green. Mo Green was dope. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders. The Horse Head, Luca Brasi, of course. Shouts to Sleeping with the Fishes. And the way the five families got together when they were beefing, everybody wanted to kill everybody. Got the five families together and squashed it, kinda. But that was dope. They were still, businessmen in a sense. Tom Hagen. Tom Hagen was the coolest dude out. When he went out to my man, said, nope. All right, well, let me get back and give my man the bad news. Next thing you know, Horsehead. Fredo. Ugh, fuck Fredo. Got my man shot. Got my man. Godfather got shot. What was he? Fucking useless. I hate Fredo. And then he turns on his brother. Kay was awful. She was terrible. Connie. Bleh. I just liked every woman in the films except for Apollonia. Now, she was #appreciation. Apollonia. And not Purple Rain Apollonia, though, we could debate who had the better topless scene. I really had to do a whole Godfather podcast because you had Godfather 2 and those two films incredible. When they showed the origin story, the rise of the Corleone family, just incredible. It's a damn shame they never made another one. I love Scarface, hate the ending. Goodfellas, crazy. Stabbing my man in the trunk. He just wouldn't die. And the illest shit was the picture, the painting. Crazy. That's just funny to me. Carlito's Way. I like Carlito's Way because I like Pacino and I like. I always thought of it like the end of Scarface if he didn't get shot. So when him and Sean Penn, Pacino and Sean Penn, they made the movie. Everything else blew. And the mere fact that you knew what was gonna happen in the beginning. Anyway, Untouchables was dope. Gotti, I liked Gotti. I thought that was a dope movie because it was real. You actually knew that this shit really happened. But I can go on and on and on. I won't. Today's show is about the mafia flicks, gangster style, shoot you in the face, eat the cannolis, no fucking ziti, all kind of gangster shit. I'm gonna have F.O.G from the Title Pending Movie Podcast. He's gonna come through, the Notorious F.O.G, and we're gonna talk all kinds of Goodfellas and Scarface and Sopranos and a whole bunch of other more shit after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Don't buy wigs that come off at the wrong time. Maury's wigs don't come off, even underwater. And remember, Maury's wigs are tested against hurricane winds. Don't forget about money. You can afford a Maury wig, priced to fit every budget. So call me now. And come in for...
Back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. It's the EDP, Eclectic Discussion Podcast. I'm eclectic, but you already know that. Never mind that. I would like to take this time to introduce my guest. He is Mr. Movies. He has Ishtar and Meteor Man on Viewmaster. This is
neither of them.
This is how much movie Viewmaster, ladies and gentlemen. One half of the Title Pending Movie Podcast, Tank and F.O.G, currently sporting a Gina Montana inspired afro. Mr. Dan Fogarty. F.O.G, ladies and gentlemen.
Eclectic, what's going on? I like that image. That thing would be about 3 feet above my head right now. I don't even know how she did it.
Yeah, that was incredible. And it had a nice rustic Bob Rossian
kind of color to it.
Yeah. Shout outs to Happy Little Trees.
Yeah.
I miss Bob Ross. Rest in peace. I had to get you on the show. I figured if I'm going to do movies, if I'm going to talk movies, besides my former guest Tank, which we killed the junk foods, I figured I had to get you on here.
Nice.
My favorite movie genre, besides, I mean, if you count James Bond genre, is gangster mob flicks. So I figured, let's see what folks knows.
I know a lot, but here's one thing I didn't know. We talk on Twitter all the time. I didn't know you were a big Bond fan. You're a big Bond fan?
I celebrate the catalog.
Yes, me too. You've got to be psyched for Skyfall, right? It looks great.
I am cautiously psyched for Skyfall. Let me explain why.
That speaks of you were a little disappointed by Quantum of Solace.
Well, that plus I, being a huge James Bond fan,
yeah,
I am so not a fan of Craig as Bond.
Ah, man.
He is.
Oh, it's got to be a rough time for you then.
He is bastardizing.
Really?
He is ruining the character.
Oh man, that's tough. I love it. I love Craig as Bond. I love what they've been doing. I even like Quantum of Solace, although it's one of those movies where I like it, but I've got to acknowledge all the flaws. Like I've got to be like, well, I like it. You know, one of those. So,
I mean,
but I'm psyched. I think it's going to be great.
Or that David Niven. but yeah, I will go see it. I have to go see it. So I mean, yeah, it's James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So eventually, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be doing a Bond cast.
I would love to be a part of that.
We'll do a Bond cast. This time we're doing gangster flicks, mob flicks, and things that are like. So, with that being said, sir, what is your favorite gangster mob flick ever?
Well, I'll do you one better.
All right.
It's not just my favorite gangster mob flick. It's my favorite movie of all time. It's Godfather 1. I think it's the greatest flick ever. I love it personally. I just think that not enough can be said about Godfather Part 1.
Listen, I cannot agree with you more. We often have a debate, Godfather 1 or Godfather 2, and while it's close, you gotta go 1.
I agree. I would give validity to the debate, though. I like the debate. I don't really, when people want to go 2, I don't look at them like they're crazy or anything like that. You know, like they like a sports team that I hate or something. But I definitely side with 1. It's got the whole family element, and it's got Brando. Brando was so good.
Yeah.
Not that De Niro wasn't, but Brando. Come on.
The only thing that you can, the valid part of the argument for 2 is the flashback and the backstory.
That's true.
That if someone brings that up, you're like, you know what? I can see that.
But in 1, Michael goes to Italy, which is nice too.
That is.
Apollonia. Oh, am I wrong?
Yeah.
I'm an American, hiding in Sicily.
Un americano che si è nascosto in Sicilia.
My name is Michael Corleone.
E si chiama Michele Corleone.
Now, there are people who pay a lot of money for that information.
Ci sarebbe parecchia gente che pagherebbe per queste picciole per informazioni così.
But then your daughter would lose a father.
Ma allora vostra figlia perderebbe un padre.
Instead of gaining a husband.
It's a damn
She's
shame.
beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she might have been the most beautiful woman in the 2 movies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a shame that they never made a 3rd. You know, I mean,
I agree with you. Let's just leave it at that.
yeah,
I agree with you.
as good as those 2 movies are that you can debate, if they would have made a 3rd to, like, you know, end the trilogy, that would have been incredible. But I guess they ran out of budget or something.
Well, how can they make a 3rd? I mean, the ending of 2 is perfect.
Yeah.
Michael alone on the park bench, he's lost everything. He's lost his soul. And it's just such a perfect ending. You know, what would 3 have to say? Nothing.
Well, 3 would be Michael Corleone Rises.
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
I think that's what it would be.
I would hope they would have a better villain than Bane.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Corleone, what are you doing here?
I think they would actually have to have Bane.
All right, very quickly. Bane versus Michael Corleone. How long does it take Michael Corleone? The question isn't who wins. It's how long would it take Michael to destroy Bane? I give him like 10 seconds. He sizes that guy up and he's just done.
Well, I was gonna go with 2 minutes, but 10 seconds sounds fair. Oh yeah, it would have been a wrap. He had no chance.
I love it.
Okay, well, so I'm gonna guess that the Godfather himself, Mr. Brando, is your favorite character in the Godfather.
I'm gonna switch you up. I go Michael. I love Michael. I mean, Brando is great. It's the story of Michael is the truth to it.
Yeah.
Brando's in it. It's obviously he's a huge character in it, but 1 and 2 are the story of Michael and his journey from beginning to end, where he's an innocent, kind of naive, soldier.
He was borderline annoying in the beginning of 1.
That's my family, Kay. It's not me.
I'm working for my father now, Kay. He's been sick. Very sick.
But you're not like him, Michael. I thought you weren't going to become a man like your father. That's what you told me.
My father's no different than any other powerful man. Any man who's responsible for other people. Like a senator or a president.
Do you know how naive you sound?
Why?
Senators and presidents don't have men killed.
Oh. Who's being naive, Kay? Kay, my father's
Right.
At the end, he's beating her up, slamming the door in her face.
The closing of the door at the end.
Yeah, it's just so cold. So beginning to end, that's one of the greatest character arcs of all time, and yeah, I gotta go with Michael. I love me some Michael Corleone.
All right, I can dig that. So when you think Godfather, what scenes come to mind immediately?
The horse's head is one of the first things. I do love the scenes where Brando is in the den in the very beginning of the movie, and it's the wedding day, and he's got all the people he's got to counsel and give advice to and do favors for.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day.
Grazie. Caspita.
Please.
We get to see Brando being the Godfather there, and it's a different when Michael becomes the Godfather. It's very cold. It's all business. When Vito had the throne, he was there was more heart to it. It was of the neighborhood.
Even back in the day when they showed the rise of him in part 2, you saw he cared about the people. He wanted to help them out. Now he asked for favors later, but that was a part of the game.
Right.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Well, what's your favorite scenes? What scenes do you think of?
You don't understand. Johnny Fontaine never gets that movie. That part is perfect for him. It'll make him a big star. Now I'm gonna run him out of the business, and let me tell you why. Johnny Fontaine ruined one of Walt International's most valuable proteges. For 5 years, we had her under training, singing lessons, acting lessons, dancing lessons. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on her. I was gonna make her a big star. And let me be even more frank. Just to show you that I'm not a hard-hearted man, that it's not all dollars and cents. She was beautiful. She was young. She was innocent. She was the greatest piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had them all over the world. And then Johnny Fontaine comes along with his olive oil voice and guinea charm. And she runs off. She threw it all away just to make me look ridiculous. And a man in my position can't afford to be made to look ridiculous. Now you get the hell out of here. And if that goomba tries any rough stuff, you tell him I ain't no band leader. Yeah, I heard that story.
Thank you for the dinner and a very pleasant evening. Maybe your car could take me to the airport. Corleone is a man who insists.
You can act like a man.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you? This how you turn down a Hollywood Pinocchio that cries like a woman? What can I do? What can I do?
Stop her crying and act like a man. That's awesome.
Luca practicing.
I am honored and grateful that you have invited me to your daughter's wedding. On the day of your daughter's wedding.
I love that. I love that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so
That guy was a wrestler. I know you guys like wrestling. He was a wrestler.
yeah, he was.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he was definitely he was a wrestler.
Oh, and of course, take the cannolis.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
There you go. I mean, we could talk for a while.
Yeah, this could be the Godfather show.
I know. We haven't even talked about Sonny getting shot on the causeway.
Yeah,
I
and
love it. I mean, they must have had like 600 squibs explode on James Caan's body. That's just good stuff. It's
that
good
was
stuff.
tragic. I mean, the way they just dug down, he's just like, oh shit. Yeah. And of course, Fredo.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
Papa!
Oh, so obviously a future Godfather 1 and 2 show is gonna have to happen. But let's try to forge on, even though we will be back on Godfather very soon, probably. What would your top 5 movies of this genre be?
All right. Well, here's where I'm gonna throw a curveball. We already said Godfather 1.
Right.
In between 1 and 2, I'm gonna slip Goodfellas. I have Goodfellas at number 2. I actually like it. I like it better than Godfather 2. But listen, I know. But we're talking about all 3 of these movies are in my top 20 of all time. And when I say top 20, I'm a guy that's done hours and hours on Flickchart. I have thousands of movies ranked. These are really, really movies that I think super highly of. I mean, Scorsese's a legend. Goodfellas, one of his best. With The Godfather, I think you get the romanticized image of what the mafia was. And with The Goodfellas, I think you get a more realistic image of, these guys were low-life scumbags, robbed and stole for a living and killed people. So
but I still loved it.
Oh yeah. Paulie didn't move because he didn't have to move for anybody.
For a guy who moved all day long, Paulie didn't talk to 6 people. If there was a union problem or, say, a beef in the numbers, then only the top guys could meet with Paulie to discuss the problem. Everything was one-on-one. Paulie hated conferences. He didn't want anybody hearing what he said, and he didn't want anybody listening to what he was being told. Hundreds of guys depended on Paulie, and he got a piece of everything they made. It was tribute, just like in the old country, except they were doing it here in America. And all they got from Paulie was protection from other guys looking to rip them off. And that's what it's all about. That's what the FBI could never understand. That what Paulie and the organization does is offer protection for people who can't go to the cops. That's it. That's all it is. They're like the police department for wise guys.
Oh my God.
I love it. So I have Goodfellas at number 2, and then we go back to Godfather Part 2 for number 3.
Okay.
Following that, this may shock you a little because I'm big on Scarface. I have Casino. I don't know why. Another day I have Casino, and then I go with Scarface because Scarface has to be top 5. You got to have Tony Montana in there.
Yeah. I can see that. I don't know what it was about.
I don't think you do. What are your top 5?
my top 5 with this is basically yours. It would go Godfather.
Yeah.
Godfather 2. Scarface. No, Goodfellas. Scarface. And I'll tell you my love-hate with Scarface. And then I would go Carlito's Way.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna... Well, all right, so this podcast will not be without the throwdown then. A little disagreement along the way. Listen.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I can see how Carlito's Way is like, and it's only because of me and Pacino.
I think Pacino is the only reason that movie gets talked about, really.
He's clearly the only reason. I like Casino. Casino, it felt long.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, and I got Scarface back when it came on the 2 VHS tapes, and you had to split it apart. And Godfather is long, and Godfather 2 is long, but Casino felt long.
All right, I also had Scarface with the 2 tapes. So here now becomes the question to you. I know the split point in the tape. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Those movies so many times. I know that it's the rise to power, like the take it to the limit.
Yeah. With the camera and the clock.
So which tape would you watch more often?
You can tell we've actually watched this if you know the take it to the limit and the camera and the clock.
Get your dogs off me, saddle bomb.
I gotta go tape 1.
I do too.
I gotta go tape 1. Yeah.
I love it. Libertad.
Yes. Now, see, here's my love-hate thing with Scarface.
All right.
Scarface, at one point, was my number 2 movie.
All right.
I can't watch it anymore.
Whoa.
I can only... Well, all right, I'll take it back. I can only watch the beginning or the first tape and a little bit of the second tape if you want to go VHS, because I loathe the ending.
Really?
Because, see, now, folks, here's the thing you got to know about me.
All right.
I am pro bad guy, pro villain. I always want the villain to win. I always want the bad guy to win. If the good guy seems like a bad guy, that's when I want the good guy to win. So the fact that he died, spoiler, the fact that he died and how he died just ruins the whole movie. It ruins it for me because I'm watching it, I'm loving it, and then I'm like, really, the guy from the back, you didn't see, the security, really, and I can't.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bummer. Let me say this. It saved us from any unnecessary sequels. I appreciate that. Because, nowadays, nothing is sacred in Hollywood. And this actually could get remade.
Yeah,
but to me, remakes, it's in the works, by the way, in case you haven't heard.
Oh, no. Scarface with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, something like that. Something that's going to churn our stomachs. But the remakes are easier to write off. If they remake a movie and it sucks, you can just pretend it doesn't exist.
Now, in this upcoming craptastic remake that they might make, we do have to let everyone know that the Scarface that we love so much is a remake of 32 films.
Right. So there's no right. It's got no ground to stand on in terms of being bitched about to be remade. You can't remake Scarface. Well, asshole. It was a remake to begin with. But if they break out a sequel, that's when, like, let's say, Al Pacino comes into play now as like an 80-year-old Tony Montana. That would have been rough.
Fresh out of the ICU.
Exactly. He finally wakes up out of his coma.
or they could do a whole zombie flick with him and Manolo.
Him and Manolo up in heaven.
Yeah.
At each other.
No, but see, now, if they wouldn't have killed him the way they did, we might have gotten a sequel in 85, which would have probably been good.
Okay, like if they rolled right from one to another.
Yeah, like Godfather.
Yeah, possibly. because Tony Montana is one of the greatest characters of all time, and I'm not just talking about in the in the gangster genre and the mafia genre. I'm talking any movie ever. Pacino is out of his tits in that movie.
Oh, it's incredible.
What got into him? He does that Cuban accent. He's hysterical.
All the way from being the dishwasher.
Don't be fucking calling me no dishwasher, man.
He says Colombians and you make these eyes like, what?
I don't like fucking Colombians, okay?
Hey, what you guys doing? That's a lot of things to be watching.
Watch it yourself, right?
Coño,
I retired.
what the fuck you gonna do then now? Hey, look, cuando somebody...
I gotta look after my investment.
Fuck you guys.
Okay, since we're on this, favorite scene in Scarface?
Oh God.
Or just pick a couple.
It's got to be the hot tub scene, right?
Stop saying fuck all the time. Can't you stop talking about money? It's boring, Tony.
Where is this going from, man? Boring? What's boring?
You're boring.
Oh.
Money, 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 money. That's all I ever hear in this house.
Manny, look at this pelican fly.
Manny, look at a pelican fly.
Mine is the say goodnight to the bad guy.
The speech in the restaurant. I love it.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. 250. You got tits.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. Me, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
They got hair on them. You need a fucking bra.
That is hilarious.
It's great. He's eating his food with these fucking mummies. He's looking around. I love that scene. That scene is great. The whole movie's great. Here's a question for you. Are you ready?
All right.
How many times did you watch that movie before you realized it's actually a comedy? Because you laugh at Scarface now, right? It cracks you up.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I recognized it the second or third viewing because I mean, between Manolo and the cunnilingus simulation.
Look at that thing coming out of your mouth, then.
And Tony and his interactions with every female in the damn movie.
The way Pacino dances.
Oh,
Myra in the beginning.
Yes, and would you like me if I wear the hat?
I love Scarface, man. It's so great. It's so entertaining. It's one of those movies though where it's, you know, it's like cheesy and funny. I don't know how like good if you were taking it seriously. I guess it's still a really, really good movie, but I think it achieved its greatness because it's so much fun to laugh with.
It was very 80s.
Super 80s. That soundtrack is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
The
Now
synthesizers and drum machines. Woo.
Now Scarface gave me a little love and hate with the Title Pending Movie podcast as well.
Ah, I see.
Now,
so what was the love?
Well, see, on one hand, I love that it took Tank so long to see the movie because I loved tuning in and hearing the clips.
Right.
I need to hear the clips and the trivia. So I love that. What I didn't love is that when he finally saw the movie, he didn't love it and we didn't get a long conversation about it.
Yeah, we should have circled that. We should have stayed on that and made it like the Scarface episode and just dragged it out. You know what it is though, is I think it needs, well, first of all, he totally missed the pop culture wave associated with it. And a lot of times it's hard as a movie fan to send people back to that period of time when it was, you know, all the rage or whatever the term is you want to use, the zeitgeist. when I was at school, and you're in high school, and all your friends are busting each other's asses with Scarface quotes, I can't replicate that for him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so he liked it. He didn't crap on it. I'll give him that. You know?
He didn't flush it.
Right, exactly. It's hard. A lot of these movies nowadays, if you see them and you're not in that time frame, it just is difficult to recapture the sensation of it sometimes.
True. I can feel that.
I'll send him back. I gotta make him watch it more than once though, because he needs to pick up some more quotes. That sounded like one quote, and then that's it. As you can tell, I'll just go to any scene in the movie and be, you know.
Of course. I mean, it's all kind of classic. Now, the other thing that makes it funny, the other thing that makes Scarface funny, and people will get off of Scarface soon, just like we did Godfather.
No, I'm sure nobody's in a rush.
Yeah.
They love Scarface. They like talking about it.
They should. The other funny thing is, if you've ever done it, watch the TV version.
Oh, I have.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Do you have any funny substitutions that you remember? I've got a couple. I only know a couple, but they crack me up.
Denny's, oh God, it was something about Three Musketeers or something.
I don't remember that one. Here's my one is in the beach scene that you mentioned earlier, where the line is, you know, this town is like one big pussy waiting to get fucked. I believe is the line. He's on TV. They're like, this is like one giant chicken waiting to get plucked.
Oh my God.
It's funny stuff. I don't know. It's funny stuff.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is. Yeah, because you only could do so much.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a special feature on the DVD. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'm not sure which version it initially came out on, but it's about the making of the TV version, not the making of the movie, but the adaptation to TV. And that's a little comedy segment because nobody thought it could be done. They're like, there's no way. They dropped the F-bomb 200 times in this movie. There's no way we clean it up. And yet they do. So it's funny. I do enjoy that. That's a good point.
All right. So going to Goodfellas.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
Favorite scene. Now my favorite scene is nobody's favorite scene because it has nothing to do with killing or gangster or mob or anything. But and it's only because of my humor and I'm silly. But what is your some of your favorite scenes in Goodfellas?
Well, I'm curious to know what yours is, so you can't leave us hanging. You gotta at least let us know. But mine is the famous funny house scene.
Really funny. Really funny. What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, you know. It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What? It's just, you know, you're just funny. It's funny, you know, the way you tell the story and everything. Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Tom, you know, you got it all wrong.
Oh, Anthony. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
You're right.
Funny how? What?
Just, you know, you're funny.
You mean, well, let me understand this, because maybe it's me, I'm a little fucked up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
No, just, you know how you tell a story. What?
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
You motherfucker! I almost had him. You stuttering prick yet? Frankie, was he shaking? I wonder about you sometimes, Henry. You may fold under questioning.
It's gotta be. I mean, it's just, I can do the monologue from beginning to end. you know, complete with a little bit of Pesci imitation. I love the fact that actually Pesci directed that scene, you know, for that day, and just the humor there. They're at the height of their powers. They own that restaurant. I mean, just think of the owner of the restaurant comes up to you to ask you to pay your bill, and you smack him around like a mutt and break a bottle over his head and tell him to drag his ass. You kick him in the ass, and then you go sit back down and to eat your meal like
nothing, like everything's fine.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I love that scene. I think it's hysterical. It is easily the scene that pop culture, well, it's probably that or the Layla part where they show all the bodies that really wormed its way into pop culture. But so what's yours? I mean, whatever scene it is, I'm familiar. What's yours?
It's the scene where Tommy Mother has the painting, and he's like, I like this one. One dog goes one way, the other goes the other. My favorite part though is he says, and this guy's saying, what do you want from me?
Did Tommy ever tell you about my painting?
No.
Look at this.
Ah, it's beautiful.
I like this one. One dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way. One is going east and the other one is going west. So what? And this guy's saying, what do you want from me? Guy's got a nice head of white hair. Look how beautiful with the dog. It looks the same.
Looks like somebody we know.
I don't know why, but that is hilarious. They zoom in on the picture, and he says, this guy's saying, what do you want from me?
I love it. That's great. No, that's Scorsese's mom.
Oh, it is? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's Scorsese's mother in that scene.
What?
You know, she tells the Italian joke.
Yeah.
Shut up, you're always talking. I love it.
That I don't know why, but that scene always makes me laugh. Just the look on the guy's face and Pesci's just saying, what do you want from me?
It's great.
Oh, and of course, shooting Spider.
What do you got me on the pay no mind list?
Oh my God, I love that scene.
His whole family's full of rats. Probably grow up to be a rat too.
Tell the truth, you're looking for sympathy. Is that it, sweetie?
Why don't you go fuck yourself, Tommy?
That's fucking right. I don't believe what I just heard. Hey, Spider, here. Yeah, this is for you. Atta boy. I got respect for this. He's got a lot of fucking balls. Good for you. Don't take no shit off nobody. He shoots him in the foot. He tells him to go fuck himself. You gonna let him get away with that? You gonna let this fucking punk get away with that? What's the matter? What's the world coming to?
What the fucking world is coming to? How do you like that? How's that, all right?
What's the fucking matter with you?
What is
the fucking matter with you? What are you, stupid or what? Now, Tommy, I'm kidding with you. What the fuck are you doing? Are you a fucking sick maniac?
I don't know if you're kidding. What do you mean you're kidding? You're breaking my fucking balls?
I'm fucking kidding with you. You fucking shoot the guy?
He's dead.
And
something that Michael Imperioli grew up to be Christopher on The Sopranos. Forget about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. That's incredible. Like, it just cracks me up every time I look back, and I'm like, and he was in Goodfellas. Damn.
And then and Karen is Dr. Melfi.
Right. Yeah, there was a huge Goodfellas connection. Absolutely. Karen was a psycho too.
Such a psycho.
But she's all right.
Yeah. Well, she pulls up when he stood her up on the date.
You've got some nerve standing me up. Nobody does that to me. Who the hell do you think you are? Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot?
Who do you think you are? Frankie Valli is some kind of big shot? Yeah, I love that. Love it. The whole movie is great. That's why it's number 2 for me. It's still got that authenticity from The Godfather. Like, it's very obvious that both of these guys, Coppola and Scorsese, had a connection into this world. They knew these people. They knew, the families were Italian. They really were able to bring that authenticity and put it up onto the big screen. I mean, Scorsese has said often that this reminds him of the neighborhoods he grew up in and the language that he heard people using around him all day. And it just translates right up for you onto the big screen. And obviously with Goodfellas, you get that extra dose because it was actually based on Henry Hill's true life story.
Yeah, rest in peace.
He was a scumbag, but he did write that book, Wise Guy, based on his own experiences. And Scorsese picked it up and brought it to the screen. And I think he just did an awesome job with it.
Yeah, they let us get kind of into the life. Where Godfather, we're watching it, and but Goodfellas is when the helicopter is following him, and it's like, and he goes home, and it's like, I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, that was Scorsese at the top of his talents too. He's really creating a lot of tension through the film techniques, and like when he's got to slam on the brakes in order to avoid rear-ending a car in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Done that. I mean, just that sound of the screeching tires, that's gonna unsettle you. It doesn't matter who you are. You're gonna be like, ah. Music choices and the way he's quick cutting, it just really ratchets up the tension, and I can't say enough about that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay, so now we go to Ace Rothstein and the bunch, Nicky Santoro, Casino.
Yeah, you're not there with that. You're not there with that movie.
If I was ranking it, it would probably be 6. I mean, it's 5A and 5B, but it'd be 6 only because it felt so long. I will say this, that I got more favorite scenes in Casino than I do Carlito's Way.
Okay.
And I even like the ending of Casino more than Carlito's Way. It's just the fact that it was so long, and it's Pacino.
Well, you got De Niro over in Casino. That's a great debate right there. Pacino versus De Niro.
Yeah, we have to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. I think that for me with Casino, again, you get that realism. You get that this story has a lot of authenticity and it feels real. That's one of the things I didn't like about Carlitos. Well, I'm sure we'll swing around back to that. But again, the characters were great. Nicky Santoro is so awesome.
Yes.
Pesci is fantastic there. He's just such a scumbag. It's so great.
Oh, to the nth degree. I mean, and Ginger, she's just as scummy.
She's looking good, though.
Definitely looking good.
Jesus Christ, Ace, what have you been up to out here? When he first sees her,
yes,
Aaron's looking good. Gotta say it. Yeah, I like it. Obviously, I think there's still a lot of it. A little bit isn't as much mob focused as the other two are. Mm-hmm. I think if they were hard liquor and we were giving them a proof, this is a kind of a lesser proof mob movie than The Godfather or Goodfellas or whatever.
Yeah, it would be more of a liqueur.
It's still a drink that'll mess you up, but compared to Goodfellas,
favorite scene
in Casino?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt. There is no doubt about it. It's when Santoro comes back into the casino to play blackjack. Cards.
Yes.
And Don Rickles gets on the phone. It's the little guy. He's here, and he's drunk. He's pissed. That's great.
Oh my God! I just like when Nicky just beat the shit out of the guy with the phone.
Is that the one where he's like, "You took off your boots"?
Yeah, with the cowboy.
What a moron that guy was.
And the head in the fights.
That scene is so gross. Listen, all these movies, oftentimes it takes more than one viewing for you to get comfortable with what are really uncomfortable. I mean, the first time I saw that scene, that was so gross and just, oh man, so stomach churning. And the end where they beat him with the bats in the corner.
Oh my God. And see, that's the other thing. See, again, this was always the running joke and complaint of mine. that fucking Pesci at the end of these movies.
He doesn't die well.
He think he's gonna get made, pop, and then he gets the baseball bats. It's like, just let my man prosper just one good time at the end of a movie, other than The Super.
The Super. Hey, he wins in My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, good point. Good point.
On top of the heap.
I love The Super. I don't know why.
That's too funny.
Okay. Now, real quick, Carlito's Way.
Yeah, I there's a lot that to me is just not credible there. There's things that I immediately sign out of. And unlike Scarface, where I can promote it as a comedy to myself, where I laugh at it and I have a good time with it, there's just things like, for the first thing, one of the biggest things, Al Pacino and Penelope Ann Miller are the most unbelievable screen couple. There's no way she falls for him or that character. Don't look.
Oh, Gail, no.
I mean, no way. There's just no way. The only thing I do really like about Carlito is Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, David, yes.
Yeah, no, he's funny as hell in that movie. And
That's what I liked. I like David. I like Pacino. I like Carlito. And in my weird way, I looked at it as like if it was like a epilogue to Scarface. That's how I looked at it. I looked at it like, all right, so if the guy lived and then he was gone for a while and then this happened and this happened, I just looked at it as an extension of the other movies that I liked if the other ending never happened.
Yeah, I look at it in another way, kind of like a pale imitation. Scarface light.
I will definitely agree with you as calling it Diet Scarface.
Exactly.
Yes.
I hate Benny Blanco too.
I hate it.
I'm not
Benny
a big
Blanco.
Leguizamo fan.
I can't stand him. I mean, did we see Spawn?
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that I would suggest, if we were going out 6, and this was the one movie that hurt me not to be able to include in my top 5, and I did debate it, but Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco is some good stuff.
Now, see, Donnie Brasco's one I did not care for.
Oh, probably because you're a big fan of the Pacino, and he's a loser.
Exactly.
That guy he's a fucking Donnie. If you're a rat, that makes me the biggest loser in the history of the mob.
Exactly.
And yeah, he is a loser. So
I did like the exchanging of the Christmas gifts, the envelopes with the money, and then at the end, hey, can I hold a couple of hundred? And he just took the whole thing and kicked him out the door.
That's good stuff. I love Donnie Brasco. I think it's great. I think it's great to see Depp and Pacino together. I think that's one of those pairings that kind of crosses generations, kind of like Tom Cruise and why am I drawing a blank? Paul Newman in The Color of Money.
Oh yeah.
Get to see the two actors from different generations kind of working together to create something great, and I think that was the case here. But
and who knew this guy that's sexing his girl on the steps would soon be Willy Wonka.
God.
Yeah. So
bring the house down. Nobody wants to talk Willy Wonka.
Edward Scissorhands then.
Yeah, there you go. I like me some Edward Scissorhands.
Okay. All right.
Jack.
So yes. Now we're gonna take Carlito's Way out of the running here, and I'm gonna ask you your most overrated gangster film.
Why now? Why are we taking Carlito's Way?
Because that is an easy answer, and we want the listeners to get it to the mind of folks. Because if I didn't take it away, what would you have said?
Carlito's Way.
Exactly.
I brought it in. I was like, Oh yeah, that's easily the most overrated. Ah, geez. Now to go someplace else. I wouldn't know. I mean, I love the genre is part of the problem with it. I love all these movies. I'm one of these guys. It's kind of like being a Bond fan. So you mentioned you were a big Bond fan. Now let's be honest, though. A lot of the James Bond movies are pretty crappy.
They're crappy if you're not a James Bond fan. If you're a James Bond fan, you're like, I don't really agree with this, but this is entertaining to me. I want to see James do it.
Exactly. So now I'm kind of like that with gangster films too. Like even if they're kind of bad,
okay,
I'm like, well, it's still a mob, and
I'll help you out.
Go ahead.
Carlito's Way, Rise of Power.
Oh, jeez. So you're gonna pull a switcheroo on me.
There you go. You can use that.
Have you actually? I've never even actually seen it.
Yeah, of course I watched it. I've watched it.
You're a glutton for punishment.
A little bit.
How was it? Was it as bad as I imagined?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, I stuck with it because I'm a glutton for punishment, but yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it didn't need to happen.
Well, that's too bad.
I mean, I would say, take a look at it. If you're the last person on the planet and you got to the end of the internet, by all means, take a look.
I think, which one I think is here's one that is out there, Bugsy. It's a decent movie, but it's got Warren Beatty in it, and that's why, not that anybody thinks it's a great movie to begin with, but it probably is overrated even for where it's at, just because it's Beatty and it's about a gangster and whatever, and it's not all that great.
Okay, I could see that. What about underrated?
There's a couple of them. I really am a big fan of A Bronx Tale.
Okay.
Not really. Huh?
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, we're talking underrated, so how about Miller's Crossing?
Okay, I give you Miller's Crossing.
All right.
Yeah, Miller's Crossing.
Well, what were you going to answer on this one? What do you have for underrated then?
Untouchables.
Okay.
Only because if you sit down and you start talking these movies, that doesn't come up in at least the first 45 minutes, an hour of the conversation.
There you go. Case in point here. I mean, it didn't make my list, and I did consider it. It wasn't an oversight. I knew it had, De Niro as Al Capone. I knew they're squaring off against the mob. It's kind of more of a cop movie, though. It's told from the cop perspective.
That is true.
But I'll give you that. I mean, Connery did win an Oscar for that, even though it was one of those lifetime makeup Oscars.
Yeah, pretty much.
No? Hey, we robbed you all these years, so here's one.
Yeah. Here, hold on to that. Don't say we never gave you anything.
Exactly.
Okay. What about overrated, underrated film character? Like the actual role, the character.
I love Nicky Santoro from Casino. And he doesn't get his due amongst all these other gangsters that get brought up and talked about and whatever. Santoro's awesome. He just cracks me up. A lot of holes in the desert. A lot of problems buried out there in those holes.
Okay, so you would go Nicky Santoro over Tommy DeVito?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking. I'm only asking.
I love them both. That's a tough question. But no, I didn't say that. You can't do that. You can't do that. Tommy DeVito. I mean, Tommy D. He's a sick bastard. He's a sick kid. What do you want me to do? Shoot him? He's yeah, Tommy D. You gotta go with him. He's funny how? Funny what? Like I'm a clown to you? I'm here to amuse you?
So hilarious.
Yeah, he's awesome. So, no, not as good as Tommy D, but still awesome. You tell Nicky to go get his shine box.
Hey.
That would be a good fight. I'd like to see the two of them fight.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good fight. All right, how about this? Ginger or Elvira?
Hey. Whew. Wow. And they're both beautiful to begin with.
Yep.
Then they get wasted.
Oh, it goes bad fast.
It goes bad in both cases. I might have to go Elvira because she just drags her ass. Whereas Ginger,
oh my God,
with the best friend, tailed by the FBI, she steals the kid, steals the jewelry, she runs the car over the lawn. I mean, she practically totals the automobile. She's bad. With the benefit of hindsight being 2020, I go Elvira because she's less effort.
That is true. I couldn't agree more. Definitely. All right. Okay. What is the worst mafia gangster movie that you've watched to completion?
I like this question. I'm wondering where you shake out on this. I'm wondering if you have an answer. I had trouble coming up with one. I went with Mobsters. The one that stars Christian Slater and Richard Grieco, those guys.
I mean, but it was Lucky Luciano.
Hey, we're going to have excuses no matter what comes up. It's a mobster movie. Oh, yeah, but they were killing people.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of Bugsy Siegel will be played by TV's Booker. Yes.
And that's like his best movie role, too. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for that movie. I think it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I probably would have to go with that Rise with Power, Carlito's Way movie.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that, so I guess that would qualify because that's bad, right?
Oh yeah, that's bad. Or Lansky.
I haven't seen Lansky. I know the movie you're talking about too.
Yeah, Lansky with Richard Dreyfuss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe Lansky. And here's one that you'll probably not agree with. I wasn't a fan of Billy Bathgate.
Well, I mean, it's not a movie. First of all, it's not a movie that I've seen in a long time. So if the time came to discuss it, I'd be really weak. My impression of it was all right.
Yeah, one hell of a cast, but the movie itself
wasn't that great.
I mean, come on, Bruce Willis, Steve Buscemi.
I wouldn't give you any crap about that.
Okay, I'm down with that. So yeah, we'll go Lansky for me. We'll try not to even count Rise with Power anymore.
Okay.
Now here's a question: as you've logged many movie hours.
Yep.
You've seen more movies than I could name, whether I've seen them or not. And but you love the genre just as I.
Yeah.
Is it dead?
No. There's no. I'll tell you this flat out. I don't think there's any such thing as a dead genre in Hollywood. There's just trends, and right now, the mob movie is not trending. But all it will take is a while, and then See, what'll happen is it'll be forgotten about, and then some Hollywood exec will get the bright idea, let's do a gangster picture. Nobody's done one in 20 years. It'll sell like mad.
Let's do Goodfellas 2, The Rise of Spider.
Oh, man, let's stop giving Fogarty heart attacks about remaking classic movies. Like Goodfellas 2, you're giving me agita over here. Let's scale that back. Someone will break it out thinking it's going to be a big hit. I mean, look at the Western. The Western was dead for a long time. And then you have a movie like Unforgiven, and all of a sudden you'll have a lot of imitators and knockoffs and whatever. Musicals are never really dead. You're still getting step-up movies.
Well, that's because you always have your Howie Deckers of the world. You know, there's always a market.
Rumor that he's excited for Pitch Perfect, the new one with Anna Kendrick. There's no truth to that, but I'm gonna foster that rumor right now.
And I'm gonna second that. I heard it. So with that being said, and I already know the answer to this, should or could any of your top 5 be given a reboot or a sequel?
Nah.
Not at all. Nothing could be done to the property that would make you say, okay, I want to see this.
Yeah, no, I think that, Hollywood has issues with remakes and sequels and whatever, and it's, they have a lack of creativity, so in order to fill the slots in the cinema, they need to regurgitate old properties in order just to meet quota, really. So unfortunately, they're churning out a lot of crap right now. Scarface, we've discussed, was already a remake as it is, so it kind of waives its rights in the future to being remade. You can remake Scarface because Scarface was a remake, and that's coming. So I have no expectations it's going to be good though at all. I mean, I don't trust Hollywood when it's not an original property.
If they change the ending, I'm for it.
Well, that probably won't happen either.
Yeah,
although, wait, you know what? There's a chance nowadays, because here's how Hollywood will think. All right, you've got a chance. Hollywood will think we don't want to kill him because if it's a big hit, we're gonna want to do a sequel. Mm-hmm. So Hollywood greed is actually playing in your favor right now, because honestly, they'll be too big of pussies to have that ending today.
I am going to stand in line for my tickets of The Dark Montana, and
there's no way that the whole thing was about Al Pacino's Tony Montana, though.
Well, see,
that's the whole movie. That's the whole movie.
You're right. Now, see, here's my thing. Forget the reboots, forget the remakes. Scarface was great.
Yeah.
Just do a new movie based on the character. Or not based on the character, but inspired by the character. You can do a whole new franchise. It doesn't have to be Scarface.
Here's something that would be awesome.
All right, go ahead.
How about an Adult Swim Scarface cartoon where Pacino just does voice work and just lays out the new Montana-isms, Oh,
that would be incredible.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I just want to see him put down Elvira and, talk shit about Frank Lopez, Oh, you're going to be the one, Frank? Mr. No Balls.
Oh.
Yeah, just great. I would love that. That would be great.
Yeah, now that I would like. Oh, we gotta have folks back on the show so we can just have a whole Scarface and a whole Godfather's show. Okay. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do these movies count as gangster mob movies? Do these movies that I'm gonna list fall under the genre that we're discussing?
Okay.
Pulp Fiction.
I say no.
I say no as well. Reservoir Dogs.
It's more of a heist movie.
The Departed.
Yes, but again, because it splits time with the cop perspective, you're kind of getting a half mafia, half cop movie, and thus it waters it down to where it wouldn't make my top whatever.
Yes.
The cop quotient.
Yeah, see, now this movie inspired my question about the genre, because I saw it as that was their attempt to try to breathe life into the drama and bring it back, and it didn't work.
You don't like The Departed?
This is what I'll say about The Departed.
All right.
I watched The Departed, and I saw it as an okay movie, but all of the hype that was surrounding it when it came out, it definitely didn't live up to the hype. The Departed was, I watched him like, okay. And again, you got to understand this about me. The good guy. Okay, I can't give. That's why I fucking love The Godfather.
Because Michael lives.
Yes, the bad guy never truly loses.
Oh, he loses.
But he doesn't die. He doesn't. I mean, everything he does is like, okay, I'm satisfied with this, because he won so much. He won so many times that at the end on the bench is like, okay, I can.
That is one of the reasons why The Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 are two of the greatest movies of all time, because it's got an evil protagonist is the best way to say it. It's got a villain as its central character. It's got an anti-hero, and he doesn't see justice served. It's kind of the great, in comics, there's always the arc or two that'll be like, what happens if the villain wins?
Yeah, the what ifs.
Yeah, you'll get those what if scenarios. Well, this was Hollywood's what if. What if the bad guy doesn't get caught? What if he gets everything that he wants? And the answer is
the greatest movie of all time. That's the answer. I hate that Hollywood has to pander to these assholes that needs to have a feel good moment when they leave the fucking theater with their stupid faces. Let the bad guy win. The bad guy wins sometime.
Oh man, that was great. That's good stuff. Really.
Okay, Jackie Brown.
Yeah, no, that's, to me too, another level that we kind of discussed about this was there's got to be a level of the crime in order for it to rise to like a gangster movie for me, because we discussed potentially including gang movies into the gangster movie discussion, because there's a lot of great gang movies out there. But again, I think the crime happening in Jackie Brown is way too low level to rise to the level of a gangster movie for me.
I can agree with that. So with that being said, what about Usual Suspects?
Yeah.
You got some crime.
Yeah, you got some crime in it. It's high level crime. I don't know if I consider it a mob movie just because it's just so untraditional. I would probably say no. I don't want to diss The Usual Suspects in any way.
Great movie.
Nor Pulp Fiction. I mean, all of these movies you're throwing at me here.
Yeah.
They're great movies. I'm just not sure I would qualify them as like gangster films.
Right.
I guess if you're running a video store and you have to put them in a genre, or your Netflix, you've got to categorize them. I guess it winds up there, but I would put it more as like a crime drama.
Right, and I only ask you this because if you go looking at lists and you say, oh, what's the gangster? They'll put your Godfather up there and you put your Scarface, and then these movies will be listed. It's like, they don't really belong on that list, and if they do, although they're good movies, they belong lower because they don't truly reflect the genre.
Right. Right, and that's the point. If you're going to categorize something, you need a label for the category that really speaks to them. And I think that those movies, while they have crime as a significant element, they're not about the mob. They're not mob movies, and thus not really gangster movies, because I think of gangsters as belonging to the mob.
Agreed. See, this is why I have the guy on the show. This guy, he understands, he knows what he's talking about, and since we agreed, that even makes it better.
It does, yeah.
So look, what we're going to do right here, we're going to take a break, and then after the break, we're going to come back, and folks, we're going to hit the tip.
All right.
After this.
Pushing rocks on the block, I'm never broke, mate. Sporting jewelry and the shit that came with rolling hard. You try to school me, you'll get served with no regard. Boy, don't test me cause I'm tired of teaching lessons. So motherfuck you and that bullshit you're stressing. Cause it ain't nothing but the money flow in this camp. And if you short me, you'll forever wear a stamp. So watch your back and prepare for the hit, man. Black for the black and the act will take no shit, and you'll be bumped up, bumped off, no trace. On the Ferrilla, my nigga, just call me Scarface.
After the messages, we'll be right back.
Sonny, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to help your mother with the dishes.
I can't do that, Godfather.
I want you to clean up your room.
Sorry, Godfather.
Okay. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Smooth, creamy Jell-O pudding.
Jell-O Instant Pudding and sugar-free Jell-O Instant Pudding. Kids love them, and they're ready in just 5 minutes.
Godfather, you have my every loyalty.
Welcome back to the EDP. This is the Gangster podcast, the mob, all mob everything, the crime thriller. And speaking of thriller, I have the chick thriller, F.O.G here from the Title Pendant Movie Podcast, Mr. All Movies Everything. So he keeps the tomatoes from being rotten. And we're here, and we're about to hit the fifth.
Well, let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time for the fifth.
All right. Question number 1. Pacino or De Niro?
That's a big debate. That is one of the greatest movie debates out there, because it's no coincidence that these two guys get paired up against each other. They both had such legendary careers and such incredible characters. I think that it's a super, super tough call. De Niro is probably a better actor. Pacino is probably my favorite actor, though. So I lean towards Pacino more than De Niro. I'd agree. Do you take the other side? I mean, listen, thank God that this is a hypothetical question. I don't have to choose. And after this, I can go watch Taxi Driver. Be like, hey, whatever. I just chose Pacino, but watch this. And pop in Midnight Run.
Okay, now let me pop in Midnight Run.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you this then. Then how, now because I'm only speaking for me really, but I'm asking you a question. How disappointed or happy were you with the end result of Righteous Kill?
Oh my God, I thought you were going to say Heat.
No.
Righteous Kill was horrible. I felt embarrassed watching it. As a fan of those two gentlemen, I think both of their careers have plummeted. Let me say this. Righteous Kill was only half as embarrassing as a Pacino De Niro fan as Jack and Jill was. Seeing Al Pacino and Jack and Jill and the shit that he did there, was just, I still can't believe it. I don't know. He can't need the money. He must have thought it was funny. That's what kills me. He must have thought, hey, this is going to be funny. And, oh my God, it was so bad.
Okay, now, then what about Rocky Bull?
You know what? I've never caught that one. I'll be honest. I've never caught it.
No,
I'm sure it's god awful.
All right. What'd you think of The Fan?
It's nobody's best movie. It didn't bother me or anything. It's been a long time.
Okay.
That was back in the day,
Ladies and gentlemen, the Robert De Niro Al Pacino debate is almost as hotly debated as the Incredible Shrinking Woman V.R. Warshawski debate. That is also very
on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah, it's burning up Twitter as we speak. Shouts to Kathleen Turner.
I'm on the V.I. Warshawski side of things, by the way.
I happen to really like that movie. Actually, I liked Hudson Hawk too. But,
oh God.
Yeah. So, an Incredible Shrinking Woman. Yeah. Shouts to Galaxy Glue. Anyway, question number 2.
Yes, sir.
What is the worst movie trilogy in your opinion?
The only, I can't get away from the Star Wars prequels, just because they were attached in my mind to the original trilogy, and the variance in quality between the originals and the prequels is just so huge and so jarring. They're not good to begin with, the prequels, but just that drop off makes them seem so much worse. And the fact that they're spoiling one of the greatest characters in all time in Darth Vader and even R2-D2. I mean, practically, look, in the Star Wars prequels, R2-D2 is a super robot. He's flying, he's got lasers, he's like a turret. I mean, I watch him in that movie and I'm like, so then what happened to all that shit in, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back? And
he got old.
All of a sudden he forgot. Yeah, he forgot. He's got amnesia. He's got robot Alzheimer's. So I say that. I say those. The Matrix might be a close follow-up. Just because The Matrix 1 was an incredible movie.
Arguably one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever.
I'm right there with you. And then part 2 and part 3, horrible.
Oh my God, the 45-minute orgy dance scene alone.
It's terrifying.
Like, oh look, it's Caligula. It's wonderful.
Well, they make up for it at the end when Neo turns into Jesus and he's got the real life superpowers, a la, Suki in True Blood. He's just blowing shit away. It's great.
So, 2B, what is, in your opinion, the best movie trilogy?
Oh, I didn't know we were gonna go 2B. Now wow, that's crazy. Knee-jerk reaction is
Revenge of the Nerds.
Is not Revenge of the Nerds. Is probably the Star Wars original trilogy, but the Lord of the Rings is right nipping at its heels. What do you think? Where are you at with those?
Well,
I can sense the Lord of the Rings. I'm not a big fan.
I cannot say that I'm not a big fan because I've never seen the Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, how does that happen to you? You're a big guy. Like how most people that can happen to. How does that happen to you?
I'm not. Those kind of movies, I just can't.
Yeah.
They're not. I can't get into it.
Well, let's say this though. Those are some of the best that the genre has to offer. If we were, again, to draw the comparison to Bond, if you were going to recommend someone a Bond film, you'd probably reach for like the Goldfinger. You'd reach the top shelf stuff. Definitely. So if we were going to break someone into the fantasy genre and the sword and sorcery stuff, you'd reach for Lord of the Rings. That's some good stuff right there.
Now that makes sense.
It might be worth you giving it a chance and just checking out the first one, see if you can cross that divide, because it's a lot better quality than a lot of the, let's dress up and use swords movies that are out.
You're like, oh look, it's a 3-hour-long safety dance video. This is wonderful.
I don't know if everybody got that reference, but I did. That's great.
And that's all that really matters.
It's a safety dance.
Oh, you can find the ring if you want to. So if I had to pick, I would probably go Die Hard.
Wow, I don't, 2 weakens it.
Come on.
Oh, it's not on the same level.
No, but it had its things.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's a 4th Die Hard out there. Are you not recognizing the 4th Die Hard?
I mean, if you can use the Star Wars as bad trilogies and good trilogies, I can use Die Hard.
It was a good trilogy and then a bad sequel. That's where you're at.
Yeah, we can look at it that way. Now, if I could count 2 movies as a trilogy, I would say Godfather. Case closed.
Yeah, let's just rewrite our definition of the trilogy altogether. Raging Bull is the best trilogy.
Exactly.
I love it.
If they would have ever had a third Electric Boogaloo, then we could have went there.
You and Tansky can do the Electric Boogaloo podcast.
That's right. Shout out to Turbo and Ozone. Special K. Saving miracles. Okay. Question number 3.
Yes, sir.
The Sopranos. In my opinion, the greatest drama TV show series ever. And definitely the best HBO original series.
I will say it's close enough in my book that I won't argue with you. I go The Wire. I'm a Wire guy. I prefer The Wire.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Whoa, wait. Am I sensing trouble with The Wire?
Let me say this. I'm 100% sure there's going to be a future episode totally dedicated to The Wire.
Okay. In a good way, right?
Listen.
Shit.
Here's the thing.
What are you doing? What?
Here's the thing about The Wire.
All right.
I'm gonna. All right. Season 1, incredible.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's incredible. Even with that god awful Barksdale. Yeah, he's awful.
Okay.
All right. Now, bad actor. So, second season, I didn't know what the fuck was going on because you watch the first season and you're like, all right, I know what this show's about. And then the new season opens and you're like, but I grew into it. And I realized that the second season on the docks was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it at the time.
Okay.
But I later, halfway through the season, I realized, even with Iggy or Ziggy.
Yeah. Who was a dick. I hated that character, but.
Yeah. So then season 3 happened. I'm like, okay, now we're back to The Wire. This is what I'm talking about. Even though my personal favorite character died.
Yeah, but they bring in Tommy Carcetti, who's a great character as well. I know Stringer Bell, R.I.P., but we got a full season with him.
Right.
So season 3 still has Stringer. Spoiler alert, I suppose. Listen, if you haven't seen The Wire by now,
yeah, you're fucking up.
On it.
Yeah.
You do.
Now,
season 4 is one of the greatest TV seasons of all time. Nothing bad is going to come out of your mouth at this moment, right? Oh my God, Eclectic! You don't like season 4?
Season 4 and season 5 of The Wire are some of the worst television I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Lord.
That shit is terrible.
No.
They ruined. Put it like this.
No.
Put it like this. They should call it The Wire season 4. No, The Wire season 4, The Phantom Menace. That's what they should call The Wire.
No, it's great. It's good stuff.
No.
Listen, here's why The Wire is so great, because it's not about crime. It's about the way society has failed.
No, The Wire was supposed to be about crime because hence the fucking wire, folks. Where did The Wire go, sir? Where did the fucking wire go?
It did go a little bye-bye when they went into the school, but I think that was what shifted the show from being just a cop drama.
Which is what the show was. It turned it into a regular TV show.
No. It was never a regular TV. That show is miles above regular TV.
Marlo, ugh.
Marlo was badass,
Marlo
dude. Come
awful.
on. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy.
And let's not even begin on that fucking fecal matter that was season 5.
The
serial killer.
I will say, hands down, season 5 is the weakest, but it does wrap it all up well at the end. So the end of the show ended well.
The series went
That'll bring us back to The Sopranos. Let's bring this full circle now.
Go ahead.
The Sopranos did not end well.
The Sopranos ended just fine.
First of all, the exact ending of The Sopranos, the sudden cut to black, is one of the worst things that I've ever seen in television history. It's a total cop-out. I hate it. And then on top of it, the last 2 seasons, 6A and 6B, were some of the worst limp across the finish in series history, in television history.
Dare you, young man?
I still think it's a great show. I
Tony
think
was in danger. People were trying to kill him. He actually killed Christopher. How can you say that?
Because they all got old and gained like 40 pounds, and then they went to New Jersey and they had gay love in the bed and breakfast.
Oh, shout out to Johnny Cakes.
Yes. Are you a fan of the Johnny Cakes subplot?
I did not hate the Johnny Cakes subplot.
It was not what The Sopranos. You were talking about The Wire going to school and being like.
But it was still Sopranos because he was afraid that people were going to come out and kill him, which they were. He still left and killed people because that's what he did. It was still ramifications back home because his top earner wasn't there. It was still that.
It was crazy bad.
At least, see, if you compare it to The Wire, it would be the equivalent of having a whole season with no Sopranos, because we had a whole season with no Wire. So that is how.
That's certainly not true, and it broadened the world of The Wire in season 4.
Oh my God!
And I suppose you could say that it broadened the world of The Sopranos in season 6, but I don't think anyone wanted the world to go there, or check that out. Like, I mean, it's just
the show was so good because of the ending. People were up in arms. Yes, I was one of the people that thought my cable went out, and I was pissed. But the Wire ended, and people were like, "Oh yeah, the Wire's over."
So it's better that everybody gets pissed off and up in arms over the end?
People cared so much. People cared so much. People didn't care The Wire was over because The Wire was over at the end of season 3.
That's funny. I will say, The Sopranos is a much more revered property, and The Wire never drew the audience, and you're right. And on that, I have no defense. You're 100% right.
But first 3 seasons of The Wire, I was all in. Every night, every episode, everything. And I watched it all episode. I watched season 4. I just watched it with the screw face. With my lips to the side of my face. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Now, they did introduce some nice characters, but the characters that they introduced in seasons 4 and 5 were not as good as the characters that were dead or no longer around from the first 3 seasons.
We're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
All right. And again, as soon we're gonna do another show and we can talk about this stuff more. But the question is, should they do a movie for The Sopranos?
Hell no.
You don't want to see what happened after the fade to black?
Not now. I mean, let's put it this: by season 6, the characters were already too old for me to really get behind as getting their hands dirty mobsters.
But what if it was if this bringing up, they're gonna start a franchise? They could bring the genre back.
Yeah, well, the next generation of mobsters.
Yeah, Tony is a Godfather. He's Brando now.
Which is where he probably should have been in the series. A little more.
Yeah, but Christopher couldn't carry the show.
No. He certainly couldn't. Let's just say I think the characters' age would be an issue. I also think that if the end of The Sopranos does have anything going for it, it's the controversy and the debates. That's the positive that you could check if you were going to check the plus side.
They could be Godfather style. Tony's old. AJ and Meadow is running the family now.
Oh my God, AJ would run the family into the ground. What are you kidding me?
They'll recast him.
Run the family. Nuts.
What? No fucking Ziti?
Yeah, exactly. That's his best line. Meadow maybe could.
See, there you go. And AJ could be Fredo.
He was Fredo, all right.
Yeah, she kills him.
I don't see a Sopranos movie being any good at this point in time. Maybe when they were in their prime, it could have made for a very good movie. But at this point in time, I don't think it would happen, and I don't think that it should happen.
Question number 4. All right. Which of the movies that I'm going to name...
Yes, sir.
Which is the best?
All right.
3 movies. Which is the best of these 3 movies?
All right.
Electra, Barbed Wire, Catwoman.
They all have different things going for them.
Sure.
Barbed Wire may be the sexiest of the 3, unless you have a thing for Halle Berry, in which case...
Who the fuck doesn't?
No, I meant like a super thing for her, because you're right. I mean, I took that for granted that everybody kind of does. 3, what I was going to say, Catwoman has that unintentional comedy going for it. Look, that movie's so bad that it's funny. Yes. So I'll stick with Catwoman. I'll say Catwoman because it makes me laugh. The other 2, I just think are bad and I don't laugh with. Barbed Wire has Pam Anderson in her prime, but I go with Catwoman. Makes me laugh.
Now, F, Marry, Kill with the lead actresses of the 3 movies.
Damn. Because I'm like, you want to go F across the board.
Of course you do.
And I wouldn't want to marry any. Let's knock this one out first. This is the easy one. I would marry Jennifer Garner because I believe she's still married to Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
They're happy. They're making the Hollywood marriage thing work. So
they're only making it work because neither one of them really has a career in Hollywood anymore.
Oh, hey, Ben Affleck's an up-and-coming awesome director. Argo looks awesome. I can't wait. They just offered him the Justice League, dude.
And he declined.
Well, I think that's a sign that his career in Hollywood is not dead.
All right, shouts to the town.
I marry Jennifer Garner. And then you gotta go with Halle Berry over Pam Anderson, so that leaves you needing to kill Pam Anderson.
All right, shouts to Hep C. All right, that makes sense. All right, I'm down with that. I think I would do it a little different, but that's just me.
Oh, whoa, so, all right.
Well, I would kill Jennifer Gardner.
All right.
I would F Pam and marry Holly because I know she's a nutcase and crazy, but I need to see it for myself. Yeah. That's just me. I'm fine, but at least I got that. 5th and final question. Question number 5.
All right. Dun, dun, dun.
All right. What would you rather do? Be on a movie poster.
Okay.
Nude.
Okay.
And it's going to show up in every major theater and in Times Square.
Okay.
You're nude, and the movie is called Sun-Dried Tomatoes. and the poster is you with a nude Kathy Bates and a nude Jessica Tandy.
Well, all right.
Wait a minute. Or
now, I'm not looking so bad against those ladies.
Yeah,
they're looking right away. Other people are seeing that and they're just going, ooh. So that's not so bad because people aren't even going to be concerned with me. If I got Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy, they're like averting their eyes. I might skate through that.
And I didn't tell you what the pose was. Yeah, Miramax presents sun-dried tomatoes.
What's the next awful option? Because I assume it's a choice of two evils here.
Or you have to perform the Napoleon Dynamite dance sequence on a live internet stream, wearing only a headband, one fingerless glove, and Miss Piggy pasties. So, which one are you going with?
That's funny. The second one cracked me up. I'm gonna go. I easily
Wait a minute,
go
before
with
you
the second one. I don't even think it's a hesitation, because I think there's a chance. There's an off chance there that you become crazily popular as the guy that did the Napoleon Dynamite dance on the internet, wearing the fingerless glove and the Miss Piggy pasties.
Yes.
There's a chance out there that works in your favor, and suddenly you are, an internet superstar like the Jedi lightsaber kid in his garage.
Yes.
So yeah, I go with 2.
Yeah, and on your headband you can put Title Pending Movie Podcast. It's branding there.
That's right. And, maybe once they get there, they'll realize, hey, Title Pending really isn't that bad. So, because that's going viral.
Of course.
The thing is, that's just a recipe for success right there. That's good shit, man.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I hate to say that you will have to wait a little bit longer for the motion picture Sun-Dried Tomatoes.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. At this point in the show, I like to give my guests some time to give shout outs or plugs or say how good my show is. And, whatever you want to say to the people that's listening, the floor is yours.
I do love that little whisper about the little nudge about say how good my show is.
I don't know what you're talking
He's
about.
not setting himself up, people. Before we started recording, I did have to compliment the man on the good work that he does and the great show that he puts together. As someone that records and produces a show myself, I had to recognize it's just great. It's smooth as shit. It just sounds fantastic. It really does. So bravo to you, bravo to the EDP. It's an honor to be on. It's a great show. Shout outs obviously to the Title Pending Movie Podcast that I do every week with my co-host Chris Tansky. Every week we get together and we break down the newest releases. We give you the box office data, and we have a featured discussion where we just let it fly on whatever the topic is of the week. It's a great show. We have a great time. And yeah, we would do that. Obviously, a shout out to the Underscoop Fire crew too, because they hooked us all up and they're great guys.
No doubt. Tell everyone where and how to find you, your show, your website, Twitter, Tank, everything.
Sure. So the Title Pending Movie Podcast is on Stitcher Radio. It's also on iTunes. You can find my blog on fogsmoviereviews.com, F-O-G-S moviereviews.com. And I try and update a review of all the biggest movies every week. So this week I actually hit 3 big new releases, and I have reviews sitting up there right now for The Bourne Legacy, The Campaign, and Hope Springs. You can find Tank on Twitter as @PolishPhenom, but the O's are 0. I'm also on Twitter as @FogsMovieReview, singular, no S.
Yeah, that's right, no S. Again, I want to thank you for the show, which is clearly going to sprout other shows.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do it again with no question.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, you might end up hearing Eclectic on Title Pending Movie Podcast.
Might happen.
It might happen. So, in which we will do a detailed breakdown of sun-dried tomatoes.
We can't give Tansky something like that because he'll run with it. He'll have that whole thing broken down. He'll be like, oh, it's a story of this, and then they could do that. He loves stuff like that.
Oh, the sex scenes alone. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time with Jessica Tandy and Kathy Bates' pelvic thrusts and nipple clamps, Mr. Daniel F.O.G.
Thank you very much for having me, man. I had a blast. It's a lot of fun.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
From Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection, Millennium Falcon that you put together, batteries not included.
Nice landing, Han Solo. Uh-oh, come on, Chewbacca. Stormtroopers are coming.
Action figures each sold separately.
Got him on radar. I'll fire the laser cannon.
There's even a hidden storage hatch.
Ready for takeoff. Jump to light speed. We're gone. On to the Death Star.
Millennium Falcon from Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately.
Yeah, let's wrap this show up. I'd like to thank folks for coming out and kicking it with me, gangster mafioso style. Check out his show, Title Pending Movie Podcast with the at Polish Phenom Tank. So you make sure you check that out after you listen to my show. Shout outs to Corey Chapman, Mike C, Tim Daly, Operation Get Green, Get Guap, Get Girls, 98. Howard the Deck, She's Crafty, for visiting and commenting on eclecticrelaxation.com. I appreciate the visits and the nice, kind words or the words that you have when you disagree with me. That's cool. I like it. I appreciate it. Speaking of which, if you go on the site right now, you'll see my 2012 fall TV schedule, because everybody needs to see that, and you'll know exactly what I'm watching this upcoming season. I have the EDP fantasy draft. We recorded a show. A few of the guys from the draft recorded a show, the Argyle Dick Pattern. You'll understand what that means if you listen to the show. Bonus episode. Another post, your child is overrated. Listen, it's just a small commentary on people and their children. So that's what's going on the website. New iTunes reviews. Look, I got 2 new iTunes reviews. So anytime the show gets iTunes reviews or the show comments on the website, it must be shared. I must read it, but it cannot be shared without iTunes review and podcast review reading music. There we go. Yes. First review, titled E, the man, the myth, the legend. 5 stars. Great show. Never a dull moment on the EDP. This show has it all. Great hosts, funny stories, and it always takes you back and make you say, dang, I do remember that. Not to mention, E is a cool guy and a sneakerhead. Thanks for the hours of laughter. Anthony. At Tatum216. Shouts to the Animal Thug. I appreciate the comments, and I'm gonna try to get him on the show one of these days. I got to figure out a topic that is Animal Thug worthy, but I appreciate that. The next review is One Man Rock Band. 5 stars. Look at the stars, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to write in and let everyone know how amazed I am that E Sizzle, that's me, can hold a conversation with himself so effortlessly. It's because I'm an only child. All while keeping the listener entertained. Listening to the NES show, and you're naming all of these old games, bringing back the memories. This was by Tim DOGG, Daily Operation, Get Green, Get Got. If you piss them off, get got. And Daily Operation Gorgeous George when she was with Macho Man. So, yeah, I appreciate that. And Tim hasn't been on the show since the gadget joint. I think that's like the second or third episode, so we got to get him back. So shouts to Tim. So if you're listening through iTunes, feel free to leave a review. Please subscribe. We got to get rid of the sexy time review music. All right. If you're listening on Stitcher, feel free to thumbs up and hit that tweet or Facebook button. Let people know. If you're listening through the site, comments are welcome. More of that and all of that. Enjoy the show. Share. Tell friends. Facebook, Google Plus it, Tumblr the link. Let's water cooler this bitch. So let me get out of here. The next show will be here before you know it. I know exactly what it'll be about, but I'm not telling you. I got some other stuff in the queue. So in the meantime, and between time, Devin.
Appreciation.
Yes, appreciation.
With your wrinkled pussy, I can't be your lover.